Welcome to Eat Sleep Nerd, a podcast where you can check out, go AFK, and relax with us as we discuss all things nerd. Comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and anything else that gets geeks more worked up than Daniel Craig chewing through a southern accent.
Welcome to episode number 37. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and as always, I am joined by my nerdy brother, Josh Winter, and our geeky friends, Jason Summer and Christian James.
Howdy!
In this episode, we wrap up the year by discussing our favorite movies, television shows, and video games that we watched and played in 2022. Plus, we review, with spoilers, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. And before we start, do not forget to share this show with your friends and Santa Claus, and, you know, everyone else.
Naughty or nice list.
Naughty or nice list.
That one weird uncle.
You
know the one.
Wow.
We all have the one.
You know, I found that as an adult, it's much more fun to be on the naughty list.
Wow. Jason.
I was waiting for Jason to be like, I am the weird uncle.
That is me.
No, they're not. No, they're not correlated. No.
If your kids only have one uncle,
You're the weird uncle.
I'm the weird uncle. Crap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Oh, man.
Because like I said, every family has one. So if there's only one and you're it, you're the weird uncle.
I'm not, so I'm good.
It's
okay.
science.
All right.
All right, before we make this drag on too long, we do not have too much to talk about today. We don't have any news we want to talk about, but we do want to talk about Glass Onion, obviously. But to fill this show, the last episode of the year, let's talk about all of the favorite things we watched and played. But before we even do that, I want to know what we played and watched this past week. What did we geek out on this last week of December?
Well, I kind of was focused on getting holiday and Christmas stuff done, so I didn't have much time in the way of entertainment. So not much really going on. So I guess the geekiest thing that I did was IT stuff, and that was at work.
Wow.
That's all I got.
Nerd. Yeah.
Josh?
I mean,
If we don't have anything, we can just skip you.
well, I mean, I think it was pretty clear that no one had anything, and you were just kind of like,
What'd you do, guys?
what did you do, Corey?
Yeah,
Well, you
what'd
know
you
what?
do, Corey? What did you
I did so many things this week because I had the week off. So,
Well, okay, how about we call this Corey's podcast?
So the first thing I watched, I wish I had not. It was Moonfall. Do you guys remember that movie that came out earlier this year?
Do not.
Gerard Butler?
No.
No.
It sounds like a bad Gerard Butler
It
movie.
probably would have been better with him.
I mean, yeah, he's always the best part in those movies.
So it was the Roland Emmerich movie. So the guy that made Independence Day and a bunch of those disaster
And
movies.
Stargate.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
And so this one starred
Jason
Halle.
saw it in theaters.
I did, and it was fantastic. Anyway, go ahead, Corey.
He had a beer. Like,
So this one starred Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, Michael Pena, a couple other people. And the idea is that for some reason the Earth has come out of orbit and is crashing towards Earth, and we only have like 2 weeks to live.
the moon has come out of orbit.
What'd I say?
The Earth has come out of orbit
Sure.
of the Earth.
Yes, the moon. Anyway, kind of find out it's aliens, and it was trash. It was trash. It got bombed at the box office, and critics like gave it thumbs down. But I was like, you know what? I have to give it a shot. No, it was so bad. It was stupid. I don't understand how the guy that made Independence Day could have made this movie as well, but God, so bad.
Sometimes you just give up in your career.
So
You're gonna pay me how much?
Yeah,
That's how you get me for most things. You're gonna pay me how much?
that's true.
if I were to review it, a 1 out of 5. It was bad.
Could you give it less than a 1? Like, if you could, would you?
No, I mean, I think a solid 1.
Rocking that solid 20%.
Solid 1.
I feel like 1 out of 5 is more painful.
Than a 0.
Yeah. Then like a 0.5.
Well, you made a movie, son.
Yeah, it was something.
It's the movie equivalent of putting your name on the test. Like,
So I also watched Jurassic World Dominion, which I had not seen yet.
how was that?
You know, I could understand the complaints about it. You know, a lot of people said, oh, Jurassic Park is well past its time. Like it should have ended after one movie. But you know what? The first hour was kind of stupid. Like the entire story was kind of stupid. But the last hour and a half, where they actually were like fighting against dinosaurs and stuff. It was actually really cool. It felt like a Jurassic Park suspenseful thriller. So I enjoyed the second half of it. But the first half, they tried to make it about something that was not dinosaurs. They tried to center the plot around
Aliens.
close about mutated locusts that were mutating and multiplying on a rapid scale and like destroying all these farms. And it was like going to destroy our food ecosystem. And they, for some reason, made that the center of the plot instead of, the dinosaurs. So like the dinosaurs are kind of like a side character in the movie that's supposed to be about them. So it was stupid. But the actual part that was about the dinosaurs was really fun. So I gave it like a 3 out of 5.
Seems really generous. The longer you describe that movie, the stupider it sounded.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing that held it up was that in the last hour and a half, where they are face to face against the dinosaurs, it kind of felt like the original Jurassic Park movie, where it was suspenseful and like they were tense scenes where you weren't sure what was going to happen next, and the dinosaurs were actually menacing characters. It's like the second half of it was really good. Plus, they brought in the original cast, and it wasn't just like a
Cliche.
a cliche. Yes, it was actually like it contextually made sense, and like they were still solid characters. So, the second half of it, I was okay with, but I don't know. Just the way they did this entire Jurassic World trilogy, I just wish they had not, and they could have gone back to like what made Jurassic Park special.
It started off okay.
I like Jurassic World,
Yeah.
but the second one was stupid. They tried to make it too like espionage, and Anyway, I don't know. They could have done something a lot better with these Jurassic World movies, actually make it just about the dinosaurs again. But anyway, that was the other thing I watched. But also I watched the new season of Jack Ryan, which was fantastic.
The whole season?
I watched the entire season in one sitting.
Wow.
It came out like
Wow.
2 days ago.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Okay.
Huge fan of Jack Ryan. I cannot believe they're ending that show after one more season. But I guess John Krasinski has things to do, whatever.
Like an Office spinoff.
Okay.
I hope not. I hope not.
I'm still
not.
holding out for him to be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so true. But I feel like they wouldn't do that. Because, the disaster, I wouldn't call it a full disaster, but the mishap of Doctor Strange 2.
See, I enjoyed Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, Josh and I love it.
I thoroughly enjoyed Doctor Strange too.
It, right on the fence.
All right, before we actually get into our best of 2022 section, I want to talk about what's actually coming up in the first quarter of 2023.
Q1.
Some things that we're actually looking forward to, and we will be trying to talk about on this podcast. So January is pretty light, but we do have The Last of Us on HBO coming out on January 15th.
Excited.
On the video game side of things pick up towards the end of January with Forspoken and the Dead Space remake and the Hogwarts Legacy. In the movie realm of things, back in February, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania coming out on February 17th. We have Cocaine Bear coming out February 24th.
First in line.
And then moving into March, we have Dungeons and Dragons, the movie. We have Skull and Bones, the video game, if it does not get delayed a little bit more.
It's not a real game.
We have Shazam! Fury of the Gods, still scheduled for March 17th, if that holds true.
Now a pointless movie.
Oh, we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a video game that I think a lot of us will be playing here on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited.
That might actually be the first time we can have multiple people on this podcast review a game at one time. And then John Wick 4 coming out March 24th. And potentially Starfield coming out sometime in quarter one, but we're not quite sure if that's confirmed or not.
Also not convinced it's a real game.
Yeah. So, a few things coming out between here and March, but still pretty light. We don't actually know TV shows. They're scheduled only a couple weeks in advance, so we might have some Marvel TV shows coming out that they have not announced yet, but some fun stuff coming out.
She-Hulk Season 2. This time it matters.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Nick Fury show. What is that one?
or
called?
that.
Secret Invasion?
Secret
Yes.
Invasion.
Yeah.
That one's supposed
Secret
to be coming
Invasion,
out
yeah.
sometime early 2023,
Ooh,
which
that looks real good.
But yeah. So yeah, still some fun stuff coming out pretty soon, but for the most part, pretty light in terms of the next couple months. But are you guys ready to talk about the year in review?
I think it's on the agenda, so we don't really have a choice, do we?
I love a good fanfare.
That's what I said last time.
Gets me every
But
time.
it's accurate.
Give me a fanfare or a Sousa march.
The Sousa march. Wow. Okay.
John Philip Sousa,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Inventor of the Sousaphone.
Right.
the godfather of the march. All right. There are no rails for this part of the conversation. We're just going to talk.
No holds barred.
No holds barred. Go
'Cause there's no
wild.
rails.
So it's going to be very similar to our Thanksgiving spectacular, where we just list off our favorite things of this year. But this time it's going to be the best things of 2022. So the things that we actually thought were the best of the best in terms of movies, TV shows, and video games. So I think we start with movies. That seems to be where a lot of our conversations always center around. So let's start with the best movies of 2022, starting from the bottom to the top. So we'll see the best for last. So I'll go first. And this actually might be a surprise pick. So my fifth favorite movie of the year, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Really?
Right?
Jason, did you
Not
ever go see it?
surprising.
No, but I still can't imagine
Okay.
that it'd be in anybody's top 10 list. But
It was pretty good. Like, the more I've sat on it,
Gotten
the more
pretty
I'm
solid
like,
reviews, bro.
Yeah.
Like, not just from us.
I mean, not $2 billion reviewed, but just it's pretty good.
yeah, like
Mm.
it sits with you. Like, the longer I've
Has it been lingering?
So
on
does
your
it
bad
has
brain?
been
chicken.
lingering. Like, like I want to actually go back and see it again.
Is it like chili, where it gets better after you let it marinate overnight,
I actually hate chili, so I can't.
and all the
I
flavors
can't
mingle,
Relate to that reference, but
and it sort of ages a little bit, like a fine cheese?
is it like good? Is it like Gouda?
Gouda, smoked Gouda.
anyway. so do
yes.
do we all agree with that? What do you guys consider that one of the best movies of 2022?
Jason objects.
Well, I know
I
he hasn't
can't.
seen
Honestly, I can't say anything because I haven't seen it. So
No, best is a strong word. As I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
it. Let me rephrase.
One of the most surprising movies of the year.
Let me rephrase. Did anyone else put this in their top 5?
I only did a top 3,
Okay.
and also no.
No. Yeah.
No.
Me too.
I did not either.
All right. Surprise. All right.
gonna-
Told you it's a surprise pick.
It's gonna be a no from me.
Let's go ahead and go to Christian next. What's your bottom favorite movie?
Bottom favorite. I actually just saw this movie recently.
Okay.
But the movie Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
Very, very.
We discussed this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very good movie. Like the string of cast was really good. The acting, obviously, the acting was really good. But I enjoyed it all the way through. Like, it never sat for too long.
You never felt the need to look at your phone?
No.
So that's
The
how
phone
that's-
test.
That's
Yeah.
how I've started judging movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily action packed, but what was going on kept my
your
attention.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
I get
Alright,
that.
alright.
I take a good story over action anytime.
Facts.
For sure.
Can I have both?
Sometimes that is asking a lot. Actually.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Jason next.
So out of my top 5 movies, so understand this is at the bottom of my top 5.
Yes.
Nope.
Number 5.
We're not talking about crap this episode. We're talking about the
Right,
best
right.
things this episode.
Nope.
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 That's your number 5?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not higher.
Interesting.
I've had a couple other movies that I think you'll at least understand my picks. You'll be like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
But
will
yeah.
go ahead and say, since you're the first one to mention it, Nope is my number 4.
It was my number 3.
Well, there we go.
That was my number 2.
okay. Wow. All right.
All
So it's
right.
on all our lists. That's good.
Yeah.
So far that's averaging pretty high as our top 5 movies. All right. Well, yeah. So Nope, that was a surprise for all of us, I think, because we didn't know exactly what we were getting into,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, no one did.
I was
that was
confused for
that was the point.
75% of the movie.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I was like, that was a masterpiece in
Right.
cinema.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope Jordan Peele keeps making movies because he always does something crazy and it works.
You know, I think we've been pleasantly surprised each time we've decided to step out of our comfort zone with movies. For the most
that
part.
is true.
Mhm.
That is true.
This year.
Since we already know Josh's number 3, let's go ahead and skip you just for a second.
Hurtful, but okay.
So we'll go to my next one up. So this was my number 3, my third favorite movie of the year.
What about number 4?
No, it was Nope.
What about our number 4s?
Let's go ahead and do your number 4. Let's just get number 4 out of the way. What's your number 4?
Maverick.
That's number 4 for you.
Yep.
Oh, Jason, how's that not higher?
Because I liked other movies better.
Well, now I'm trying to figure out what your number 3, 2, and 1 are. Dang. Okay.
I bet I could do it.
I bet you Josh knows.
I bet I could do it.
I will say Top Gun Maverick was my number 2.
Okay. Where does it fall on everybody else's list?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it was really good, but like top.
You did not
three-
put that in the top 3?
Look. It was a damn fine piece of patriotic entertainment, and I'm always for that. However,
I thought that was
did a
gonna be
top 3 list, and it just didn't quite make it. If I had done top 5, it would have been on there. Probably number 4.
I thought that was like a surefire top 3 for everybody.
I can 100% say if I had done 5 like I was supposed to do, it would have been number 4.
And sorry to disappoint. It's not on my list because I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Ooh. Well, it's on Paramount Plus.
that was like
I just saw the email.
that was a requirement for joining this podcast.
Oh, well.
We didn't know.
Well,
And,
that was. I definitely joined the podcast before the movie.
After the
after
movie.
the movie.
Was it? Oh,
Yep.
Well, Boulder Dash.
Boulder. What? Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash.
What's? I don't even know where we are anymore. My third favorite film of the year, Prey.
Almost made it on my list.
Yeah.
If I had done 5, it would have been number 5.
So now we know Josh's top 5.
Yeah, we indirectly came to my top 5 list. Prey, then Maverick, then Nope.
Everybody knows how Jason feels about Prey because that was part of the title.
I just
Jason
don't
hates Prey.
understand how you could not like that movie.
Yeah, I don't.
Christian, have you seen Prey?
No.
Okay, you need to watch
Highly
it.
recommend.
All right.
Yeah.
And I would like to see what you're.
Right on.
What you're
Christian will like Prey. I guarantee.
I did not like it at all.
Jason felt it was contrived.
Really? He thought every
Yeah.
moment of that movie was stupid.
I did.
Granted,
I really did.
He has never seen any of the Predator movies.
That's why.
I shouldn't have to.
I had only ever seen the first one, and I still loved it.
I shouldn't have to see all the other movies.
So you're saying you can go into Jurassic Park Dominion without seeing Jurassic Park?
Or the
I'm
next
saying
one.
that you should be able to do that and enjoy the movie. Yes.
It is a series of movies.
It's a franchise.
I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
We just
But-
feel like you're wrong.
Yeah.
I
All the things that you
Wow.
were saying are incorrect.
wow. All right, buddy. I'm gonna remember this next time we're all
You're-
together in the same room.
Your opinion matters, Jason. Just
Does
not
it?
in this
Doesn't
instance.
sound like it does.
Yeah.
So my-
it matters.
So my number 3
Yes.
was Christmas Story Christmas.
Okay.
Ah.
That is a surprise pick.
You
but I
really
guess it
did
makes
enjoy
sense.
it, huh?
I really, really enjoyed that movie so much. It's very possible because I was sitting there with my sister and her fiance slash serious fiance slash husband. And we were all having a really, really good time. And there were a couple parts where it was so funny we had to go back and rewatch it so we could laugh again. And it really it just really continued the same feeling of the original Christmas Story. And it was a perfect Christmas movie, and I really, really liked it.
See, I think that is what makes so many movies special, is that they're the ones that you can watch with people and enjoy it together.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, maybe not even this, but like, yes, you can enjoy it by yourselves, but the ones that you can enjoy with so many other people, that makes them truly special. Kind of like RRR most recently, like that was probably would have been fine just watching it by yourself, but the fact that you could watch it with other people and have an even better time, that made it
Right.
even more special. So, taking me to my number 1,
Mhm.
RRR, my best movie of 2022, RRR.
It was my number 2.
It's my number 2 as well.
Did that make your list?
No.
Oh,
Hurtful.
Hurtful.
right.
But I have.
It's almost like you don't want to be in this podcast.
yeah. It's like, why are you even here? No. So what was
I
your
have,
number 2?
I have a different mental
Yeah.
criteria for my
Sure.
movies.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Now
wrong.
who's
But go ahead.
wrong?
But
Yeah.
Since me and Josh only have 3, my number 1
Mhm.
is Violent Night.
Wow.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Bold selection.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying bold selection.
yes. Yeah. RRR. Excellent movie. Excellent. But at my older age, my attention span wanders.
My bladder.
Yes, fills up way faster. Yes, RR was a thrill ride all the way through.
Yeah.
But he got inched out by Violent Night.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. My number one
Mm-hmm.
was Glass Onion.
Wow.
Really?
Like, yeah. I adored the first one. I love the second one. Jason's clearly a grump. And I've been a huge Daniel Craig fan forever. So
I can attest to that.
So, like, as much as I love him as James Bond, I am so looking forward to what he's going to do post James Bond, where he doesn't have to be so serious and he can have a little more fun because he's funny.
Yeah.
And that,
he's hilarious.
yeah.
Yes.
And that came through in both of these movies and even more so in this one. So, in addition to just being a thrill ride and fun and engaging and never wanted to pick up my phone even once, which you'll hear more about that when we get to the review. Yeah, that was everything I wanted it to be.
All right.
And in this day and age, that's not something you get very often, let alone with a sequel. So yes, 100% my movie of the year, Glass Onion.
It's
Fair
definitely
enough.
on top 10 for me. Yeah. Jason, which ones do you have left? Have you done the top 2 yet?
I am. Let me pull up my list here. So my second is RRR,
Nice.
and of course you know what my first one is.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Yeah.
For what it's worth, I would have nailed Jason's list.
Yeah, I knew you would.
I actually thought about texting everybody, but like
Okay.
making you not look at your phone until we got to the end.
Right.
It's like, okay, now flip it over. But
I knew you would have gotten it. I had that feeling. You know.
Yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once. That was definitely an honorable mention for me.
I was gonna say, if I had done like a top 10 list, it would have been on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like even if I combined like movies and TV, it probably would have made the top 10 list.
Oh, for sure.
My other honorable mentions, Multiverse of Madness. I know that had mixed reactions on this podcast, but
I was gonna say we're pretty split down the middle.
Yeah.
Corey and I loved it. Jason did not really care for it at all, and Christian kind of leans that way a little bit too.
No,
Isn't that what you just said?
no, I said I'm directly on the fence,
Yeah.
So splitting the cheeks.
right down the cheeks.
Huh. Okay.
That's a graphic I didn't need. Thank you. Can I start this one, or do you want to
yes,
start?
please. Best television series. Jason, take us from the bottom.
I'm going to start with Rings of Power. Is
Okay.
number 5 on my list.
All right.
Why wasn't it higher? Just wondering. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, no. So there were other series that I just enjoyed more. The
So it
Rings
wasn't
of
that this
Power-
series did anything wrong.
Right? No, it didn't do anything wrong. It just it was kind of more like, what did I look forward to more?
Mm-hmm.
Out of everything,
Okay.
out of all the series that we watched, and I just was like, okay, well, if I wanted to watch this movie versus the other 4, where would it fall? And that's where it fell.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a lot of television this year, and I definitely can agree with that. That Rings of Power is just like, yeah, that one kept coming up for consideration, but it did not make the top 5.
That one
Okay.
would have been number 4 for me, I think.
Okay.
Was this another top 3 for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely agree. Rings of Power was awesome. It did not make my top 5. I want to go ahead and start with my honorable TV mentions.
Okay.
And it's because they're all kind of grouped together. They are what the internet is calling the dad shows on Amazon. So Reacher, Terminal
Jack
List,
Ryan.
Okay.
and Jack Ryan. So-
Okay.
Oh,
No.
I actually went through Terminal List. I enjoyed that one.
Right?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I love those. I honestly wanted to put probably the Terminal List in my top 5, but there were so many other ones I wanted to put higher.
It was a good year for TV.
It was a very good year for TV.
I would argue it's a better year for TV than it was for movies.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with you. Yep.
So would you put that on how TV's paced and as we are as a society?
I think it has been a vortex of circumstance. So we're still coming out of the pandemic, right? And especially when you consider that the average production cycle on anything is at least a year, usually heading towards 2. That means we're still playing catch up. So naturally, a lot of our content has been geared to being played on a format that you can watch at home. But also, and perhaps more importantly, the bell has been rung, and studios have realized, especially since every studio has a streaming service now, that they can get more money stringing you along through a series where they get 2 or 3 months of a subscription from you than one ticket. Especially when movie theaters keep about 40% of ticket revenue anyway. Now they're not having to split that revenue with anybody. So I don't know. I think this is a trend that will continue.
I hope so, because I enjoy TV better because it lasts longer.
I do too.
So Christian, taking us from the bottom of your list.
I feel like I'm going to upset you guys again.
Okay. I love this. All right.
This is why we record.
I actually have 5.
Okay, good.
Number 5, Andor.
That's
Pretty
a really
far
solid
down.
choice.
Yeah. But further down than I would have thought.
Yeah. I guess like Jason's take, there's like certain things about these other shows that caught me more. And to your point about Star Trek, I'm more of a Star Wars boy, but
okay.
I haven't watched
It's
much
fine.
Star Trek, so that may also be on
We're
me.
gonna get you on there.
The more I watch Star Trek, the more I hate Star Wars. Star Trek is infinitely better, and this is coming from a newbie.
Suck it, nerd.
See, I almost think it's like the phenomenon between The Office and
Parks and Rec.
It depends
love
on which
and
one.
You're okay with the other.
It depends on which one you saw first.
Right.
Yeah.
So certain people saw Star Trek first because it was on TV and stuff like that.
Well, I definitely watched Star Wars first.
I was gonna say
I
Corey and I
definitely-
grew
yes.
up watching Star Wars.
I saw Star Wars first, so I might be flipped.
No.
But Andor,
Now I saw Jason
Yourself.
make a face.
What's good?
When I
Yeah, he made a
said-
face.
What the thing is that you have to remember, and people forget this about Star
I know what he's
Wars,
gonna say.
and I think because they forget this, that they have a problem with Star Wars. And I think if they remember this, they'll enjoy it more. Star Wars is science fantasy. Star Trek is science fiction.
I mouthed along with it word for word.
That's what
Just so you know.
I know.
And I don't mean that. And I don't mean that
Just
in a bad way.
saying.
I love that because as soon as
Right.
you said that, I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
crap." Yeah, he's right. That
Yeah.
explains it perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, quit trying to build lightsabers. They're not going to happen. Just
Hey man,
just enjoy what it
might
is.
happen.
And
Disney's going to make
Yeah.
it happen. They kind of already have. Anyway, so
You can get them at the park. They're like $50.
before we keep going through the rest of our list, I want to ask before we even get there,
yeah,
are your television lists as eclectic as mine is? I basically cover every single genre.
mine's pretty.
Sort of.
So this is interesting. I like that.
Well, mine's fantasy or science fiction.
Okay.
I'll just say that. Mine's either
Yeah,
fantasy
mine
or
leans
science
that way
fiction.
too.
I'm definitely like in the realism, like the documentary recreations and the fantasies
Weirdo.
and the science fiction. I'm all over the place. So going from my number 5,
What were your honorable mentions? All the dad shows?
that shows. Yeah.
Okay.
My number 5. This is a weird one. Attack of the Show Attack. I had to say it.
Wow. Well,
It
yeah,
it's
that's
not-
not surprising with
And
you.
it's not. It wasn't not a
No.
traditional television show, but it
No,
came
it's
out
not.
weekly, and every single week it was
Mhm.
2 to 3 hours that I enjoyed every second of. So
You don't have to make a case for us.
I'm making
I
a
mean,
case for myself.
we
I'm making
know.
a case
It's
for
show.
Comcast, hoping
Okay.
they listen. Just
Yeah.
bring it back.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, Attack of the Show. Number 5. Josh.
My number 5, we already talked about my number 4. My number 5 was a show that I keep waiting for it to jump the shark or get sucky, and it just hasn't. Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty season 6.
Okay.
All
right.
has been really, really solid. And I love that for a show that can do anything and doesn't have to take itself seriously, they stuck to the ramifications of what happened in the season 5 finale, where they blew up the multiverse and destroyed Rick's ability to use his portal gun. So they took away the part of the show that made the show famous and stuck with it for the majority of the season. And so that was really cool. Again, I did not expect that. And again, especially since every good cartoon show seems to always lose its writers because they do really good on the cartoon show and then they get promoted to quote unquote real TV or real movies. I keep waiting for it to start getting sucky, and it hasn't. So yeah, Rick and Morty, number 5.
All right. Jason, you're next.
Are we on number 4 or can I just do number 3? Or where are we at?
Whatever is next up on your list.
The next one up on my list is Rings of Power for number 4.
Wait, didn't you already say Rings of Power?
What did I say? Was that 5?
Yes, that was
Hang on. I might have had some holiday drinks before this podcast.
You know what? I thought about
So-
it. I liked it more than I thought. And it's number 5 and number 4.
I don't know. I saw it twice. So House of the Dragon.
Oh, okay. Cool.
House of the Dragon was my number 3.
House of the Dragon was my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually a surprise for me. Number 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, first off, this is a good time. This is a good time to bring it up. I'm very proud of Corey, especially for going
branched
out
out.
of
Yeah.
his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And giving fantasy a try.
And actually liking it.
And actually
So much
liking
so that it's in his top movie series. Count. Come here.
How many drinks did you have?
It's about time for it to catch up to you. Yeah.
All right, Christian, what's next up on your list?
Oh, this one was a good one for me. Wednesday.
Okay, I have
okay.
not seen it yet.
Still
but I
haven't
really
watched
want
it
to.
yet, but damn, that dance video is all over TikTok. It's like the
Yeah.
only thing you can see.
It really is. Because the thing is, like, she made it up on the day.
No.
While she had COVID.
Well,
Yeah.
COVID. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I know all about it. I just haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah, she said she's not a dancer, not any bit of a in-person dancer, and also she really was just super nervous because Tim Burton was just like, "Hey, yeah, I like your idea. Just make something up." Like a week before, didn't do it.
Just whatever you're feeling.
Yeah, just didn't do it.
I
And
feel
so they
like
started
I've
filming,
COVID.
and she just kind of made it up.
Yeah. Has anyone else here seen Wednesday yet? Jason, have you?
No, I've not seen it. I forgot that listeners can't see me shake my head no.
Yeah,
No, I've not seen it.
He was very enthusiastic too. It was
I wanted
Shoulder
to
to shoulder.
make sure.
It was a bold no.
yeah.
But,
But I'd say like any other iteration of Wednesday that people know about from the like animated series, live action, whatever, totally different, but
Cool.
the same.
she made it her own.
Yeah, it's definitely the same aura of Wednesday.
Aura.
Aura.
Or
I just,
All right.
I never hear that word out loud. Okay.
I know.
Aura.
I totally messed up the spelling
Aura.
like a long time
Yeah.
ago. But yeah, it was super good
All right.
for what it was.
My
yeah.
my 13-year-old niece loves that series so much that the actress is now her favorite actress.
Yeah, in which she's in a lot of other like A24 movies.
yeah, she does a lot of indie work.
Yeah, and like she was one of the ones like the Disney actors that got out
Without
like
being
face first.
yeah.
It was just like
Without
no,
being on all the drugs.
yeah, without being on all the drugs. Like didn't start off in like an easy movie to get herself away from Disney. Went
No.
straight into an A24 movie.
Mm.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty
I
rad.
like how A24 is like the little studio that could.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
and are doing.
yeah. And it's just
Like
like,
they don't have misses.
yeah. But at the same time, they never make a ton of money.
Yeah,
But then you find out it was released in like 3 theaters or something like that. Like,
yeah.
I still can't find tickets to The Whale. I'm trying.
it's
so
okay.
hard.
It'll be on Netflix like next month.
Probably.
That's how it goes.
All right. So next up on my list, this is number 4 best TV series this year. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So this was the anime on Netflix. That ties-
IGN's anime of the year.
Yeah,
You never talked about this.
Yeah, he
Did you?
did.
I definitely did.
How
'Cause
long
I
have you
told
been
you-
drinking?
No.
No, so this was the show. I forget exactly why I watched it. I think I was just bored one day. But
It's because you were playing the game.
well, no, this is what got me back
Oh, that was
into
what
the
got
game.
you back into the game. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't actually know what got me to the show, but this show is what got me back into the game, which I loved the game because of the show. So I was hooked on this show. Like I did not want to stop watching it. It really drew me in. It was a fantastic world, fantastic characters. Definitely an anime. So if that's not your thing, this might be a little bit hard to watch, but it definitely has like the over the top animations and graphics and gore and stuff. But yeah, really solid, amazing story, amazing characters, emotional. But yeah, definitely top four for me. Who's
Okay.
next? Jason?
So number 3 for me was Andor.
All right. Got some
Good-
Andor
good
lovers
show.
in the house.
Really enjoyed Diego Luna. I wasn't quite sure what they were going to do with him at the beginning of the series, but he really
Kill
became a
That's how it ends. Spoiler
Okay.
alert.
yeah. Also, Andy Serkis made it like brought the level up of the movie or the series for me.
He's like that secret ingredient that you can
Right.
just add. And it just makes things a little bit better.
Allspice.
Yeah, it's the allspice of actors. Yeah.
I was reading an article where somebody was saying that he has earned the right to stop being motion captured and like recognize him as an actor and give him mad props and give him all the awards because he
Big
is
facts.
very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Andy Serkis does not miss.
Josh, next up on your list.
So my number 2, Star Trek: The Lower Decks.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Star Trek: The Lower Decks.
I'm trying to figure out
It
the
is
rest of
pretty
your
good.
list, and that's.
It is
I feel
pretty
like-
good.
I feel like there's something missing from your list, but we'll get there, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, Lower
I know
Decks
what its
is
number
very
one's
good.
going to be.
Yeah.
Well, see, I thought I did too, but now I'm questioning it. But we'll get there. So yeah, Lower Decks.
Yeah,
Solid.
Lower Decks. It is amazing. I've gotten several friends hooked on Star Trek by making them watch Lower Decks first because it's easy to watch, it's funny,
Yeah.
it's short. And then they go and watch the rest of Star Trek so that they'll know the references on Lower Decks. And then they watch Lower Decks again. And they get to watch it all over again and enjoy it all over again on a different level.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's weird. I watched it on recommendation from Jason just because he said it was good. I was just kind of like, okay, Star Trek cartoon, whatever. It's amazing. Love it. Can't wait for the crossover.
Christian, you're next.
This might be a surprise. I'm pretty sure none of you have seen this show.
Love this.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yes. Oh my God. I've heard of it. Yeah, I've never seen it.
From the beginning of this show,
I was waiting for Jason to just come out of the closet on that one.
right? I was like, oh my God, we get to talk about it now.
Sorry, buddy.
Man. Elizabeth Moss is a genius. Like, this show like traps you in it so good.
I think my mom watches this show.
I don't know what that says about me.
That you and my mom
Literally
get
everybody
along.
watches the show.
Yeah.
We're probably like buddies. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. The thing that kept me from getting super into it was Elizabeth Moss. And it's just because anytime I see her on screen, I'm just waiting for John Hamm to come and yell at her.
Same.
I get that.
Like, I cannot shake that feeling.
this is what the money's for.
That's what the money's for. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, outside of like that Mad Men, she does really great.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
I mean, yeah.
And that's
awesome.
really just a testament to how good she was on Mad Men.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not knocking her at all. But like, that is specifically why I had trouble getting into that show.
See if you can block it out and give it
Okay.
a try. Because the third season that I think that came out this year, crazy.
the fifth season. Yeah.
But yeah, that one.
Yeah. I've heard really good things about the series, and I just haven't been able to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, a lot of like jaw dropping moments. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
because it's a subject that like a couple years ago seemed pretty real, like it could happen.
Right.
So like you're already in that mindset of like, ooh, that seems way too real. But you're just like, I want to see what happens next.
Jason, how many more do you have?
I have two more.
All right, so I'll go next. So my number 3 pick, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
This was my number one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, that's my number 3.
Okay.
That was, aside from the Chris Pine movies, my first introduction into Star Trek, and every episode except for that one. Awesome. We all know what the one we're talking about.
Christian doesn't.
Oh.
It was so stupid. But anyway, the rest of the show was
Noted.
awesome.
There was one that was a pretty hard miss.
right.
But
I cannot wait for season 2. It was fun every single week. And then House of the Dragon, that was a surprise for me because while I liked Game of Thrones, this one, I don't know, it was tense every single moment. And I keep going back to the thing that Jason said where it felt like you were watching a book. And that was just a page turner as far as TV series goes. So yeah, those were my number 3, number 2, respectively.
Matt Smith also did a fantastic job in
Yeah.
his role.
Yeah.
And I think that really added to that.
or as the internet calls him, Dragon Daddy.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
As they should.
As they should.
All right. How many more do you have, Christian?
We have 2 more.
All right.
All right.
How many more does everyone else have? I guess we don't know that.
I was going to say, we've shot through my list. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is the greatest show of all time.
Strong. I like it. Well, let's go Christian next.
My number 2 is The Boys.
Okay.
If I had done a top 10 list, it would have been on there.
Yeah.
And season 3 was by far the best season so far.
The best one. Like,
Jason.
I don't know what it is. Like, my parents introduced me to real TV at a real young age, and it stuck. Somehow I didn't turn out a serial killer, so that's cool.
Yet.
Yeah.
There's still time.
There's still time.
There's still time. But no, I mean,
yeah.
but that actually ties directly into, like, this is going to be a very different show moving forward.
Very.
Like, had some developments in that final
It did. Yeah.
in that final episode.
Yeah.
And Anthony Starr is just something else.
Oh, speaking of like people that deserve everything, Anthony Starr, if you see him outside of the Homelander costume, you would never think he was as intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is just a scrawny little man, little toothpick legs.
Yeah.
But his acting as Homelander, terrifying.
Yeah. You honestly buy him as an unhinged person.
Yeah. Very. Because like going into the first episode of season 1, I was like, all right, cool. He's like a Superman trope.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you just see it in his eyes, like not even like his facial expressions, his eyes.
It is literally his eyes. Yeah.
Told everything you needed
Yes.
to know about this character. And I was like,
there is
I
no
am
soul
sold.
in there. Yeah.
Sold. And you know, the first thing that happens in that first episode where Hugh's girlfriend, to get excuse the crassness, ran through. Literally.
A lot of other ways you could have put it. Obliterated.
That's true.
Decimated.
I like ran through.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally ran through. I was like, this show is going to, I'm just going to watch it. I'm just going to binge it all.
All right,
And I
I'm
did.
in.
I'm in.
Yep.
Strapped in.
Oh God. As you were saying that, I was thinking about the Hero-gasm episode, so that was just a weird connection in my mind.
It's interesting that you went straight to that episode.
It says a lot about you, Corey. Just saying.
Oh gosh. Jason, who are you? Next up on your list.
Yes. So my next one, The Sandman.
Sandman. Okay.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed that series.
Yeah.
I was kind of captivated by I don't remember the main actor's name who plays the Sandman, but he was, when he was trapped in that, the glass sphere, not saying a word, I found his acting and his demeanor captivating. And at that point, I realized that there was something about the quality of this man's acting, and it kind of hooked me. And the story is pretty fantastic too. So
Yeah.
Between those two aspects, I really enjoyed the series, and I can't wait for the next season.
Well,
It's happening. They confirmed it. It was renewed.
Yeah, it was renewed.
but now Warner Brothers and Netflix are fighting. Warner Brothers, and specifically Zaslav, says that he is dissatisfied, quote, with the compensation program for shows that are going to Netflix, which would obviously affect any future partnerships. So
Interesting.
I'm hoping it works out for you. I didn't watch it. It just didn't seem like my kind of thing.
I watched it. It was not my kind of thing, but I also recognize it was a fantastic show. Like just for quality, I would give it a 5 out of 5. In terms of what I enjoy, it was not really my thing, but yeah,
Which
great
of
show.
course is kind of everything. Did you enjoy it? So
All right, have you done your top one yet, Christian?
I haven't done my top one yet.
Do
Lay
it.
it on us.
Top one goes to Moon Knight.
Bold.
Cool.
Wow,
Bold move, Cotton.
Okay,
Moon Knight.
hold on, because we gave this, pulling up my review spreadsheet. As a team, we gave Moon Knight a 3.5. This was before you joined the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
3.5 feels right.
So it's but Christian is differing.
yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, I have a different like mental criteria for TV shows. And I think we talked about this before, like the way the Phase 4 went, that it just went straight to drama.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it.
I find trauma incredibly attractive.
Like it's
Or are you broken? Let me help you.
I don't think so. But the way that they character built him throughout the show,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
found fascinating,
And the reveal of his trauma was heart-wrenching.
heart wrenching.
No.
So,
And Oscar Isaac acting, round of applause.
yeah.
Just super good. And like the transformation he made from both characters, incredible.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes within the same shot.
Yeah. It's like
no cuts.
Like his face didn't change, but you saw him change.
Yeah.
Wild.
Speaking of which, we've been running through movies at work just to like play on the TVs and stuff. And we've started doing, there's a feature on Voodoo where you can play like whole sagas if you have the whole saga or like the whole trilogy or the whole whatever. It'll just play them back to back to back, which is attractive to us because that way we don't have to go and turn it back on and put in the next movie or whatever. And so we were doing the new trilogy, the sequel trilogy. And man, looking back at it again, Oscar Isaac just has this look of, what am I doing here? Just the entire time. He was so wasted in that series of movies. They could have had him do so much more. But yeah, like every once in a while he even says a line and it's just like you can tell he's dying inside. It is actually really sad. But
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of
but I say all that to say Oscar Isaac is amazing.
beyond his not trying. Amazing.
Oh no, that was it though. Like he, bless his little heart, he was like, they're giving me the money, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
But like motivation can't fix bad writing.
That's true.
So
yeah, Oscar
anyway.
Isaac.
Yeah.
God.
Solid
No pun
number
intended.
One. Solid number one.
Yeah.
My number one, I think this is our last number one, our last TV show, 5 Days at Memorial. So I don't even know if you guys remember me talking about this one. I think it was back over the summer. It was the disaster medical drama that aired on Apple TV about the difficulties that the New Orleans hospital faced in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And my God, it was just emotional and dramatic, and it was a thrill ride because doing the research, they put so much detail and thought into how they depicted all these real life people. So much so that someone I actually work with teaching, he actually used to live in New Orleans with his wife, who was a doctor who actually worked at that hospital. I might be misquoting him exactly the details, but essentially they know in real life these people that were the doctors at this hospital, and they confirmed that the way that they were portrayed in this show was extremely realistic. So much so, like the way the hospital was laid out, it was extremely realistic. So just the fact that this entire show portrayed everything as realistically as possible and still made it so dramatic just tells you how intense these real life events were. And just the fact that it was all portrayed in the show in a way that made it amazing to watch. Hell of a show. Definitely hard to watch because it does deal with real people. And
see, I wouldn't want my number one to be a bummer.
But see, yeah.
But I get it, Corey.
My honorable mention for the year, Cheer. Bring it back up.
It was so good. It was so good.
I'm glad you liked it, but my number one could never be a bummer.
All right, so that is all of our TV shows. Let's talk about the best video games that we played this year. Let's make this quick.
Okay.
Because I know there was not a lot to play this year. This is why we're expanding the rules and guidelines for this section to talk about any game that came out ever, as long as you played it this year. Because not many new games came out this year.
So, like, just to make it go fast, you just want to go around the tables?
Sure.
Been done? Okay. You start, Corey. No,
okay,
you start.
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, so this one, my first one, my number 5.
Obviously, Callisto Protocol.
I actually considered it because I didn't have that much to pick from, but no. My number 5 was Killzone Shadowfall. This one came out all the way back in 2013. It was a launch title for the PlayStation 4.
Let's make this fast. I want to include titles from 10 years ago.
I played it this year.
Okay.
It was great.
Seems
and
counterintuitive.
It made it really sad that the Killzone series, because it was an established series, multiple games, this was the last one to come out. So it's kind of sad that they actually went out on this amazing game and it did not lead to more, because I would like to keep playing them on current generation hardware. But yeah, Killzone Shadowfall, fun first-person shooter. Next up on the list, surprisingly, Saints Row. Because thinking back to it, by the time I finished the game, I was a little upset with what the game was. It gave me everything I loved from Saints Row 2. But they just dragged on a bunch of stuff that just felt like a waste of time. So by the time I finished it, it felt kind of frustrating, but overall I had a fun time with it. So it was my number 4. Number 3 was High on Life. This is the game I talked about last week. That was very Rick and Morty-esque.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
Number 2 was Cyberpunk 2077. So that came out a couple years ago. Only just now played it.
Some might say it was only recently playable.
This is accurate. I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was enthralled in this world
Goodness.
while I was playing this game. By the time it ended, I was just like, I cannot believe this game is over. I want to keep seeing what happens. So thankfully, they are releasing some story DLC with Keanu Reeves coming back. So hopefully, the story does pick up where it left off.
I heard a rumor that you're supposed to say his name Keanu.
Don't like that.
Yeah, apparently if he says his name, it's Keanu.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's wrong.
So yeah, that was my number 2. My number 1 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
COD 2?
COD 2. Or COD...
Come what to? COD what to?
So I know
You're
the
so
campaign, the single player campaign, the story mode was a little bit of a letdown for me, at least compared to its predecessor. But overall, I did enjoy it. But it's really the multiplayer that's kind of putting this one on top for me, because I have played a whole lot of the multiplayer and I am loving it. So much so that Josh has played with me a lot, and it's been a fun time every time he joins me. So just the fact that it's bringing my brother video game companion back into it. And I know.
That was so cute.
It's a little sentimental number 1 here. But yeah, fun time, great game. Just overall, this is the best that online multiplayer first-person shooters has been in years. So definitely number 1. Do you guys have video games?
Yes.
Nah. Yeah, my list is very short.
All right, go for it.
All right, what's your number 1?
But number 1 is you said games that came out a long time ago.
Anytime.
But played, so probably Halo. No, not really.
I mean,
Super Mario Brothers.
you had to have played it this year.
We talked about it, I think, like a couple episodes ago.
The truck driver one?
No.
Oh.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Finally got
That is a
into
good
that.
one. That's a very good
That's
one.
a very, very good game. But yeah, my number 1 is Truck Driver.
Okay.
What is
Done.
Truck Driver? I've never heard of this.
Truck Driving
Oh my
Simulator.
Go listen to our Thanksgiving Spectacular, Jason. It was in there.
It's like that little Stan Lee character that pops up at the bottom of the comic. And it's just like, go see episode number 35.
I was like, where are you going with this, Josh? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the little character on this episode saying go see episode. Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
But no, it really is exactly what it sounds like. It was a
Okay.
truck driving simulator. And that was his number
Cool.
1.
Okay.
I get it.
Josh.
Mine are in no particular order. Prison Architect.
Wow.
It's exactly what it sounds like. You
You have not mentioned this one before. So this one.
I literally have been playing it like this week.
Okay.
So like Prison Tycoon.
Kind of. But yeah, like no, really. Like no, that's pretty accurate.
We're
description.
contracted out by the state and we're making tons of money per bed.
No, that's literally what it is. Like you're saying it like a joke. That's the game.
Yeah,
Maximize
I've worked-
profits,
Yes.
minimize volatility.
Right.
You can get grants to do certain things and like do certain programs.
Oh,
Keep-
so the U.S. edition.
Yeah, keep the recidivism low.
Wow.
So
Also accurate. He's
so
not
yeah,
lying, but he's not wrong.
So yeah, Prison Architect has been a lot of fun. Star Trek Online.
Okay.
Still going strong after like what, a decade now?
Yes, and it is so good. You can now pick between different eras. So you can decide if you want to play in the Next Generation era, the original series era. They also added Klingons and Mirror Universe, if you want to be all evil. And Romulans. And then another one I tried out recently, Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Which is notorious for being crowdfunded. They've raised $500 million
Wow.
over the last decade.
That's
And
impressive.
just put out a playable game.
Okay.
And it's still in alpha. So they don't guarantee that anything you have when you log out will be there when you log back in, because it might change. But that being said,
Is that risk worth it?
it is so much fun. It is part RPG, part simulator. But its selling point is going to put Starfield to shame before Starfield ever even comes out. And that is that after you load and wake up on the space station, there is never another loading screen and you can go anywhere you want.
Wow.
So when you leave the space station, you go get in your ship. Like I said, it's a little simulation based. So you have to airlock everything, begin the computers, begin the engines, Then you have to radio the station, get clearance to leave. If you don't, you get in a lot of trouble, stuff like that. And then, again, no loading screen. They open the bay doors. You get to pilot out. Oh, there's a planet over there? Cool, I'm going to go land on it. You drive and fly straight down to the surface of the planet. It procedurally generates the planet. No loading screens, no cutscenes, no nothing. You decide exactly where you want to land. You decide. It is a perfect simulation. And it's got all the cliche things. You can join the military. You can do mining. You can be a trader. You can be a, whatever you want to do. And I'm sure that's the kind of stuff that they're working on more to build out the game as a whole. But I can see where the money went. Like
is this single player or multiplayer?
It is a persistent online community. Now, that being said, it procedurally generates an entire universe. So I played I've probably got 5 or 6 hours in at this point. I have bumped into like 2 real people so far, but there's thousands of people on the servers. So like it's neat, but yeah.
Jason, give us your top games
Kirsten,
that you
didn't
played
have
this year.
any?
He already did his.
You already did.
How
yeah.
drunk are
Trucking
you?
Simulator.
Oh, that's right. He did. I'm so sorry. Jesus. Wow. I'm just really out of it today. I'm so sorry. So my top 3 in order is Life is Strange True Colors,
Nice.
Outer Worlds,
Or is it Outer Wilds?
Which
Outer
one
Wild-
is it?
and then Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
Jason's like, this game sucks.
Why was this even recommended?
So you mentioned Life is Strange. I actually just started playing Life is Strange 2 like yesterday.
The second one?
That's what 2 means. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was making sure I heard you.
Oh,
correctly.
okay.
Wow. Coming for his throat.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry.
Just sauce.
Like, here's
That's
my
what
jugular,
2
buddy.
means.
Just take it out. There you go. Just
No, so I think we talked about it, actually, maybe even on this podcast, how Life is Strange is maybe one of the most beautiful games of all time. So I have been very excited to get into the other games because I actually already bought them. But I know that after I played the first one, I was devastated. And I just could not keep playing because I wanted to so bad, but I just I don't know if I can emotionally invest myself in another game like this. So I just started playing it.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Have you played Life is Strange Before the Storm?
I have not. So I'm waiting for that one because I know it goes back to the original characters.
Yeah,
so.
it's the events that lead up to Life is Strange.
Okay. Yeah, I've been putting that one off because I know it's probably gonna be devastating.
That
as well.
one's gonna break you even more, buddy. I hate to tell you.
Great. Looking forward to it.
But at the same time, it's excellent.
It's so good. It stays with you.
Yeah.
All right. That is 2022.
Woohoo!
Somehow we wrapped that up in about an hour.
Yeah.
But 2023 looks to be a banger of a year.
I
Not
agree.
only in movies, TV shows as well, but also video games. We actually have a good year for video games. So
I believe it when I see it.
look out.
Right.
It's coming.
God willing, the world doesn't end before all that. Yeah. So
Hey, Jason.
We've been saying that since 2012.
right.
Look, at this point, I think we're invincible.
Right. Either that or we're just like, oh, the world's ending? Okay. What's on Xbox? What's on PlayStation? All right.
Or we've just been living in limbo this whole time.
Right. There, that
Yeah,
too.
we're in the
It's like
Matrix.
we're just-
Everything
yeah.
actually
Look,
ended a long time ago.
I just feel like if we take a step back and really
Right.
look at it,
Uh-huh.
the world really ain't that great anyway.
All right, let's get into our spoiler review for Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. That's all I got. What do you guys think about this movie?
I mean, I made it my #1 movie of the year.
True that, he did.
Yeah, it's true.
That was a surprise.
I stand by it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I figured out the mystery right off the bat.
Did you though? Because
Yes.
I
100%.
so I definitely picked what was his name? The main bad guy. Miles.
Miles.
Miles, yeah.
I
Edward
picked,
Norton.
I picked him as he's the whodunit. But then they kept making me second guess if I picked correctly or not.
Well, see,
I saw him switch the glasses.
I did too.
I was going to
Yeah.
say we all
I got
caught
it.
that one.
Yeah. And I knew it. I also picked up on the fact that he was so surprised that what's her name showed up. He's
Yeah.
like, "Why are you here?" So I knew he was the one that killed her, and then who thought he killed her, or he did, and that then he was the one that shot her.
That was also
knew
a
it.
misdirect too, because when they were getting on the boat, they all
Yeah.
gawked that she was there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, no, he was. I don't know. For me, like I was like, it was enjoyable, but I figured out the mystery.
So what I love most about this movie, and Jason, light spoilers for the other one because I know you haven't watched Knives Out yet.
You're right.
But it's not so much who done it. It's a lot of the times what they've done in both movies is shown that what was done is not what you thought was done. And so it's not even so much who did it as how it was done and why it was done and when it was done.
Right.
And it's not so much about who did it, but just how the entire situation was a little different than you thought it was.
I think that was my favorite part of the movie, was about halfway through when you realize that Andy was not Andy, it was actually her sister.
Yeah.
And then they went into the whole backstory of what she
Right.
went through.
So the theme of the movie was laid out right at the beginning. It was a fugue, right? Where they played the simple version of everything, but then they played it again layered on top of itself and it became more complex.
Oh my god.
And so
the Tarantino.
God, it was foreshadowing.
yeah, so literally, I mean, you basically watched the movie twice.
Oh my God.
And so yeah, it was literally the film version of a fugue. And so they set that up pretty well as one of the clues at the beginning of the movie.
That just made me appreciate the movie so much more.
But yeah, it's literally almost exactly at the halfway point where he comes out and he says, well, now hold on just a minute, and takes it all the way back to even technically before the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then they go through the entire movie again.
Then went through the entire movie again from a different perspective. I
From
think
a
that was
more,
the cool
from a
thing.
more full perspective.
Yeah.
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 I would say that's definitely the strength of the movie. The different perspectives of
It
each
is
scene.
it is a clever movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
I actually felt bad for Dave Bautista's character and his clearly was in love with whiskey, and then she just treated him so badly. But she didn't, like, she was like looking out for him, but at the same time
She was
she
the
wasn't
honeypot.
like, true to him.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
she was the honeypot.
Yeah, and I felt
At
bad.
the same
for him. I really did.
time, he wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he was probably the most, well, no, I was going to say the most innocent, but that doesn't feel right. He was the least awful.
Yes.
Surprisingly,
Okay.
yeah, he was the one
Of the
carrying around
bunch,
a
I
gun.
He was just like a swole nerd.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah.
he's a little rednecky and he's a nerd and so, but I mean, like, he's probably the least terrible and the least compromising
Yeah,
of the
because
bunch.
there's a politician, scientist, and he was on Twitch.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
Twitch of
Yeah.
all places.
Like I get the plug for the Now Times, but
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, he's not.
And sure, I mean, he whores out his girl, but I mean, at the same time, she was pretty open that she's using him as a platform launcher. So I mean, like,
Yes, it's also true.
like, I mean, okay.
So let's talk about Sir Daniel Craig.
I don't think he's been knighted yet.
He is now,
Okay.
in my eyes.
By me.
As an American, are you even allowed to consider that?
Yeah, we won that war.
No. I was well, yeah, but as we had to give up certain things, like knighthood. That's not a thing that we do here.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Well, it's called the presidency.
That's not the same.
I'm not calling any of them Sir John Adams. No, that does not work.
Don't sit right.
But yeah, Daniel Craig, what we discussed before, you see him as James Bond. There's a lot of actors out there now that you see them in a specific role.
Yeah.
You can't see him any other place.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel Craig does it so well.
Yeah. I don't see him as James Bond so much as I just see him as Daniel Craig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I will go to whatever movie he's in because it's Daniel Craig. It's kind of like Tom Cruise. You don't really go to a Tom Cruise movie because you're going to see him disappear into a role. You go to a Tom Cruise movie because you want to go watch Tom Cruise in a movie.
It's a Tom
Yeah.
Cruise vehicle.
Correct. And I think Daniel Craig's going to end up being the same way. Like,
Very
I don't
much
think he's going to be typecast as James Bond for the rest of his life. I do think he's going to be typecast as Daniel Craig for the rest of his life. So, like, for example, I pointed out, he's still wearing Omega watches in Knives Out. He did in the first one, too. I think he will always be dressed in expensive clothes in every movie he does. just because it will be weird to see him not dressed in expensive clothes.
Wasn't he dressed in a prison uniform in a movie?
That was such an amazing
It
movie,
was
though.
a really nice prison uniform.
No, it wasn't. It was trashy.
It was Gucci.
It was
okay.
It was by Gucci. It was Louis Vuitton. You could see the
LV.
you could see it on the back of the.
But no. So Daniel Craig had moments in this movie that made me baha out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like how he totally ruined Edward Norton's weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
I love that
he
so
just
much.
Sherlocked it as soon as the dinner started. He's, so we've started.
Well, there's this,
Here's
and
the
there's
answer.
this,
Yeah.
and there's the crossbow over there. And if you notice, it's lined up directly with you. And
He was kind of
and
a
this
child.
dude's an idiot.
He was kind of a child at times, which was adorable.
Yeah, just excited to be there, really.
Yeah.
But he was playing a part. He knew why he was there, and he knew what he had to do.
Yeah, that's
in order
neat.
to get-
Looking back, he was acting
the part.
foolish the entire time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys picked up on this as well, but Edward Norton's character also kind of reminded me of Fight Club.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Go for it, Christian. Go.
I was thinking that. Yeah, just simply like the eeriness behind the character,
Mhm.
like the way he played it.
There's something off there.
Yeah, it was just like in Fight Club.
Yeah.
And like a lot of his mannerisms and stuff like that reminded me of Fight Club.
Right. Also, like the perspective of having to change how you go about your life, like being a disruptor. It made me think of the cult that he started, not the Fight Club, but what was after it? Operation
Mayhem. Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem.
Right.
Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem. It made me think of that. Like this is now 2 movies where he's advocated the disruption of society in order to make changes. It probably wasn't necessary or intentional, but that's just how I leapt.
He's in the Illuminati, so.
Okay. Thank you for that. I didn't know that.
So I looked it up. Daniel Craig is not a knight, but he
Yeah,
was
I knew he
bestowed
wasn't.
upon the rank of the most distinguished order of Saint Michael and Saint George, which is the same rank that James Bond had in the novels.
Oh,
So he does
okay.
hold that official title.
That's like a
Cool.
bravery type thing or a
I don't know.
valor.
I think everyone just really liked him as James Bond.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Solid. Any other takeaways? Ryan?
Solid.
Yes. A standout for me through a cast of excellent actors is Janelle Monáe.
Mhm.
You don't see her in a lot of things. She used to be in like some of like the more pseudo popular B movies
Yeah.
because she's mostly a singer.
Yeah.
Um.
But at the same time, she's one of those faces where it's like, you recognize her, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not anything where you're just like, oh, it's the girl from. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you're just like, I know I've watched her and stuff.
She was in Hidden Figures. She played one of
Yes.
the NASA mathematicians. She was also in Moonlight, which won the Best Picture award for.
After
Yes,
some
Chris.
light confusion.
So yeah, she's been in some really big movies, but yeah, I definitely did not
Immediately recognize
immediately
her.
place her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. You recognize her, you don't immediately place her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she was just like a standout.
Which says a lot considering
Who else was in the movie? Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's the
And I
best
agree with
part.
you on that.
That's the best part about both of these movies is both of them swing for the fences with casting.
Yes.
And it's always, or I say always, both times it has been huge ensembles where everybody has to kind of bring their A game because you don't want to be the one slouching in the room with all these other powerhouse actors. And I hope that's something they can keep going.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, it's like
that's-
I didn't realize Anna de Armas was in the first one
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
until
that was
way
her-
afterwards.
that was her breakout role. It was by no means her first role,
Yeah.
but that's the one that made her famous.
I think I watched it again at some point while it was on TV, and I was like, oh,
Anna de Armas. Yeah.
she's like one of the main characters in this movie. It just didn't even place her.
And this is really nothing other than just a bit of trivia, but it's a piece of trivia that makes me feel somewhat, in some weird way, connected to Kate Hudson. she and I were born in the same month and the same year. And so I really just enjoyed seeing her in her role, just because it's like, hey, there's somebody my age. That's kind of cool. But she did a good job too. So
She's aged a little bit better.
huh?
What?
What'd you say? What?
That was another thing too. Speaking of
No. Hang on. What'd you say, Mr. Corey?
I might have said something along the lines of she aged a little bit better.
Let's see you in a bikini, Jason.
I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone.
Thank you. But yeah, like, oh yeah. So Kate Hudson, like what we talked about before, like Edward Norton, like doing the same thing. She reminded me of her role in Almost Famous.
Haven't seen it. Sorry, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
That's a throwback.
That's
It really is.
throwback.
Like, what was that? Late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
It was basically 20
Pre-9/11.
years ago now.
Yeah, that jovial hippie-ness to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Love it.
I like how you gave me that look for not watching Almost Famous, but you haven't watched Top Gun Maverick. So
But Almost Famous is like,
World renowned.
yeah, it's
so is Top Gun Maverick.
it's a bit of the cult classic
Yeah.
movies.
Okay.
Mean
that
Girls.
must watch.
And then that.
I didn't see
I've
Mean
not
Girls
seen that
until like
either.
late
I've not
college,
seen Mean
but-
Girls.
So,
Wow.
speaking of the packed out cast, my favorite, basically a cameo, Hugh Grant
Yeah, I want
As
to talk about him
his-
too.
as his, I'm assuming, boyfriend.
It was not explained at all.
Yeah, it wasn't explained in the
Yeah.
film. Now, I feel like I read an article where Ryan Johnson, who wrote and directed, said that Benoit is gay.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But I mean, it was just, that was delightful. That was hilarious. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's Hugh Grant.
He was
still
there for
doing
no
stuff.
reason. Like it could have very easily just been Daniel Craig answering his own door, but for no reason, it was Hugh Grant.
Just to
answering.
get another
Yeah.
little cameo in there.
Another little
Baking from the
Englishman.
looks of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, in an apron, which is fantastic, which is great.
But no, I mean, it's like I said, I gave it movie of the year. Obviously, my rating's
Yeah.
going to be 5 out of 5.
All right, so let's get into scores. So, Josh, 5 what's out of 5?
5 shattered figurines out of 5.
All right, I'm also giving it a 5 out of 5. Christian?
I'm trying to think of it out of
Oh,
5 out of 5. I can't think.
Okay.
and now here comes Jason to crap all over it.
Sorry. 3.75 puzzle boxes.
Ooh,
Can I just not type his in?
It's all right.
you can. You're the one with the keyboard.
He's been drinking. It's
No,
All right, it doesn't actually hurt that much. A 4.69 out of 5. I like that.
that feels
I like that
accurate.
we have a fourth person now to kind of balance Jason out.
I bring it down to reality. Thank
See,
you.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's yeah, Jason's kind of a fuddy duddy, but
Jesus.
but at the same time, I always feel like I may be a little over generous, and so it balances it out because there are not very many things that are actually perfect. So having a fuddy duddy helps.
Well, the thing is, it's like the whole sequel trope. Like, sequels usually don't do as well.
Yeah.
But this did.
Okay, well, but that's the thing. Just because it's a sequel that did well doesn't necessarily mean that it deserves a higher score just because it's a sequel that did well.
Just because of minutia doesn't mean it doesn't deserve a perfect
Well,
score.
I'm not saying that it's minutia. I had my issues.
See, that's my take. That's my thing, though, is that I didn't have a single issue with this movie. I loved every
did.
second. So
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. So that is our last review for 2022, but also our last episode for 2022. We made it to the end of the year, still doing this
Wow.
podcast. We didn't give up on it. We kept going, and here we are.
And guys, we give up on a lot of things.
We give up on
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
a lot of things.
geeks and nerds. We don't stick to much, honestly.
Wow.
There's several things at once.
Just, yeah.
Honestly, people, you should be checking this stuff out. We're good. We promise. You guys are already listening. If you're here at this point, you already know.
Is he slurring
Just
his
tell
words now?
people.
I think.
He is. He is.
Just
Tell.
tell
So
someone.
good, people.
Just watch the video, you know? It's a good time.
I miss you guys.
Miss you too, Jason. I wish that you were here so we could watch out for
I
you.
wish I was there too. Or
Kind
you
of
guys were here. Either way, whatever works out.
No.
No, not at this
No.
time of year, no.
No.
Seems too
You don't
cold
want the
up there.
negative 10 degrees with me? Come on.
Nah.
We're not that much better down here.
Okay.
But yeah, so this episode actually comes out a couple days after Christmas, but since we're recording it before Christmas, for all of our Christmas people out there, Merry Christmas. We hope you have a good one. For anybody not Christmasing, hope you have a good whatever holiday you celebrate.
Right.
Happy holidays.
We hope you have a good
Right.
geeky holiday.
Right. Enjoy the warmth and lights around you. Also, this will be our last recording or productions before New Year's. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry Chrysler.
We hope all of
See,
your
Merry Chrysler?
2023 we hope your 2023 is filled with nerdy things, geeky things, dorky things. That's all I got.
And wonderful things. And back to Josh. Josh, what were you saying?
Merry Geeksmas.
There it
Oh,
is.
oh,
Glad
I
we
like
waited
that.
for that. That was a good one.
And a happy nerd year.
And a happy what?
And a happy nerd,
Nerd
year.
year.
Happy New Year. Oh, I like it.
Yes, we got it.
Jason likes
You
that.
can
Good
look
job,
for
Josh.
you can look for the sweaters on the store. Nice. Soon the store won't just be a joke.
Right? A running gag.
God knows I've put forth like 12 ideas so far.
We have some good ones.
So, be sure to come back on January 3rd. We will be here right after the new year with a brand new episode of Eat Sleep Nerd, episode number 38. So stay tuned for that. We're not quite sure what we're going to talk about yet, but it'll be something fun, hopefully.
Corey
also-
will figure it out and
We'll
put us
figure
on
it out.
track.
Yeah, DC will do something.
No.
Between
no, we're
DC
done
and
with DC.
Sony, something will happen.
Something horrible. Just what are they thinking will happen? Yeah.
Jared Leto cast as Superman.
Oh my god. Nicolas Cage actually brought back for Superman.
I'd
I'd watch
that.
that.
Movie.
I'd watch that.
No.
I would
No.
watch that
No.
movie. I want
No.
the suit and everything
Oh god, that was a horrible suit.
with his long hair.
Oh, I was going to
Long-
bring the long hair. No.
Yeah, the long hair and the glossy plastic suit. No, hard pass.
1000%. I'm on board. I just want to see it.
Corey's looking at us like, can we finish this?
I'm
for the love
trying to
of
find the
God?
segue into the end. So, Jason, in this last week of the year, what should nerds be doing?
Nerds should close out 2022 by making sure that they eat, sleep, nerd.
Happy New Year, people.
To make things a little lighter, have I told you guys the ultimate dad joke?
Yes, probably.
Yes. Well, I'm going to tell it again for the listeners.
I'm probably going to cut it, but sure, go for it.
Where are all of the dad jokes stored?
Where?
In a database. Or if you want a data center.
Oh god, that broke me. Oh.